Welcome to Uncork Your Mind. This is Debbie Giaquindo. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. And in this episode, I sat down with Dana Spaulding. She is the founder of Wander and Ivy, this really classy glass bottle single serve wine that you'll absolutely love. And we talk about her transition from the financial industry to the wine business, what was her aha moment, and where she sees Wander and Ivy going. So I hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to Uncork Your Mind, where we take the intimidation out of wine with your host, Debbie Giaquindo, the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess.
We're live, and I'm here. I know you can't see her face yet, but you will eventually. She's just hiding behind her icon right now with Dana Spaulding from Wander and Ivy Wines. And they are single serving, and I think really you get a little bit more than a single serving out of it. If you ask me, wines. And I am going to talk with her today about becoming a wine brand owner and all about her wines. And I do want to say this is take two because we tried this 2 weeks ago and had technical difficulties. So we're hoping everything goes smoothly today. Fingers crossed. So Dana, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
It's great to try again. But yes, I proudly founded Wander and Ivy, which is the premium and organic single-serve wine brand. I founded it in 2017, and it really was after, thank you. It was really after I found just a personal need for the product. I was looking for more premium single-serve options. I was often just wanting to have one glass of wine and one quality glass of wine that was focused on natural and organic ingredients. And so I was looking for it and couldn't find it in the market and decided to create it for myself. And we are just celebrating our 5-year anniversary in business, which is really exciting.
That is. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Because it's a tough business.
It is, very much so.
Yes, it is. And now you went from private banking to wine brand owner.
Yeah.
I realized the need for the single serving, but you went, full on, with the wine and everything. What was your aha moment that said, I'm leaving the banking industry and doing this? This is what I want.
Yeah, it was definitely, as you said, quite a big shift. In wealth management, my role and my husband's role is actually where I met him. We were both in private wealth management, which was really a fancy way to say we were managing wealth for very successful entrepreneurs. And I was fortunate enough to manage wealth specifically for folks in the food and beverage and health and wellness space, meaning, entrepreneurs who built brands, sold it, came into a large amount of wealth, and we managed it for them and their families. And what my husband and I were just constantly talking about was how do we do what our clients are doing. We were so inspired by what they were building. So we, for many years, had the idea of starting something on our own, and we just weren't sure what it was. I was pretty sure that I wanted to do it in the food and beverage space, but it really wasn't until, for everyone who knows me knows that it wasn't until my husband asked me if I really was going to waste another bottle of wine. I got annoyed with him because I was wanting to open up a bottle. It happened to be a nicer bottle, and he wanted just a glass of whiskey that night. So he knew, it was a Monday. I probably wasn't going to have the whole thing and was going to, again, waste it. And so that, for me, was definitely the aha moment of, we're wasting wine more regularly. I went out, and really, it was kind of I would say it was a period of time in that aha moment where I was recognizing what was on the shelf in wine stores, in the grocery store, what I could order online. It all just felt like less of a luxury experience that I was looking for when it came to the packaging, the cans and bags and boxes that exist, but also the actual quality of the wine inside the bottle. I felt like I was looking for something that felt more like an everyday luxury, and I just couldn't find it. And that was when, it was probably about a 6 to 9 month process that I researched what existed and then found that, again, there wasn't anything I was looking for, and that there was just a pretty big gap in the market. And, if I could build this to be such a differentiator in the market, that there was a lot of opportunity for success. So took the time really to build out what it would look like. And then, finally took the leap with all of the support, thankfully, of my family to take the leap in the spring of 2017.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is a leap.
It is, very much.
And I noticed that you are a certified level 2 SOM. Did you go for your certification while you were still in wealth management or when you moved over into the wine industry?
It's a great question. I decided to do that almost day one when I left my day job in finance. My job was pretty intense from an hours perspective, and so I knew if I was going to dive into something new and really dedicate myself, I would have to cut ties with my previous role, and especially if I wanted to study for any kind of certification. So it was really one of the first things that I did, largely to not only build my own personal knowledge base, but to build my credibility in the space, because I was fortunate enough to be in the food and beverage space, but certainly not so deep into wine that I felt knowledgeable enough to really jump into this. And so it was one of the first things I did was sign up and then go through the process to really, like I said, build that knowledge base, feel more confident in myself, but also build my credibility in the industry. I felt as though that was important.
Yeah, it is, I believe it is important as well.
Yeah.
And where'd you come up with the name?
Oh, I love the name. Thank you for asking. We wanted the brand to represent all the things that differentiate Wander and Ivy. And for me, there was a couple of different things. First, I was really, once I explored this category and again, like kind of identified what the gaps were, what I was looking for and what others weren't doing, I recognized that so many of the, especially alternative packaging wines, really are very U.S. centric. There's of course some box wine that's international, but for the most part, it's California and Oregon as alternative packaging wine. And so I felt as though it would be really special and differentiated if we could find wines globally, because we're actually a licensed importer as well. So we're really proud of the fact that each of the wines are from a different family-owned, certified organic vineyard around the world, and we spend a lot of time identifying the specific wines in the specific regions that are known for growing, really renowned for growing those specific grapes and varietals that we identify. And so the global element of it for me really helped us land on Wander, really wandering the world to find those wines. And I really wanted to also touch on the fact, of course, that we're natural and organic, because that is such a differentiator, but I didn't want to use any of those words. I wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. I wanted it to be kind of green, bring in that element to it, and also touch on vines. And I felt like Ivy really allowed us to bring in that greenery element without being so direct, being more subtle. And together, I felt like Wander and Ivy was also just very aesthetically pleasing. It was it felt like elegant and beautiful, which again is what I went with our glass bottles, which are very different. So all of that together kind of pulled pulled the idea together, which was again, something. Then we went to the more practical route of making sure that it was something that was defensible from a trademark perspective, from all of those kind of legalities, making sure, okay, this can stand on its own, it's different from anything else in the space, and kind of hits all those marks that makes Wander and Ivy different.
I will say the packaging is really beautiful.
Thank you.
And like I have the Chardonnay open, which is from California, and the red wine blend open.
Yeah, thank you.
So I have to ask the different animals on each of the bottles. What is the significance of that?
So each of the animals represents the region where we source from, and so for the red wine blend, we source from Valencia, Spain. So we have the bull for Spain.
Okay.
One of the things you might have already seen is that they're very serious animals on the front and very playful on the back, meaning they're a little bit drunk, so they all had a glass of wine.
Oh yeah, here's the back.
And so we love that. And so, and then I also think you mentioned Chardonnay. That we have a California bear.
Oh, the bear's great. Sitting there.
We love the drunk animals on the back.
Yeah.
So we wanted to, overall the brand, we tried to play on the seriousness of what we're trying to deliver to the market, while also being fun and playful with it, which is why we kind of decided to have those animals on the back. But each of them are representative of the regions where we source the wines from. And
the red blend, what grapes are in that?
That is a 55-45 split of Bobal and Merlot. And I love that. I will say all of our wines, for the most part, as you'll see, are very recognizable grapes. And it was something that I felt very strongly about. The red blend has actually been my favorite from the beginning, in that it is a little different with the Bobal. And the Merlot, of course, is classic, recognizable. But the Bobal, especially being native from Valencia, it just gives it that. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, Debbie.
I like it. It's really nice. Now, what was the blend, the percentages again?
It's a 55% and then 45 split of Bobal and Merlot. Bobal is at 55%.
Yeah, but the Merlot still comes in strong, because I can really taste the Merlot.
And that's what I love. I love that you still do get that recognizable, familiar Merlot, but then that different, especially for folks who aren't as familiar with Bobal, it's, I think, such a great way to add the spice, add a little chocolatey, and of course it's a very dry blend too. So that's actually been one of our varietals that's been consistent. We've had it from day one.
Yeah, I do like it, and I just want to take note, so if you saw my glass when I first started poured, there's more than one real glass in this. I mean, you're not going to pour the wine to the top of the glass anyway, so I'd say there's probably 2.5 glasses.
Well, thank you. And so I always call it a hefty pour.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is. Now you source the grapes, and you have contracts with the existing vineyards, wineries to produce and bottle your wine. Do you bring the juice in, or is it bottled over in Spain?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a facility in Napa, California, where we do all of our production. So as the licensed importer, we ship our wine in bulk to our production facility from around the world.
Okay.
So of course, it's a lot simpler of a process for our wineries in California, and it's a lot more complex for our wineries in Spain, New Zealand, France, and etc. But we ship everything to the facility in California, and then from there we bottle, label, and package for distribution all in one centralized location.
Now, have you gone to all these various vineyards and wineries with the people that you have partnered with?
It's a great question as well. I would love to say, as an early stage company, I have visited each and every one of them, but our process is that we receive, and it's more of an extensive process now, but from day one it's really been at a basic level, the winery is shipping us all around the world the samples, and we take and we'll refine now, especially with the partners that we've worked with for the last several years. We can, especially very early on, refine what that taste profile looks like. But as an example, our red wine blend from Valencia, Spain has been the same 55-45 split from the beginning. They send us samples as soon as that new vintage is ready. We taste and then, make that official contract with our supplier partners, and then they ship it all over in bulk. And so it is actually a very big goal my team and I were just discussing as an executive team of ours to visit in person each one of our supplier partners, because I think as we scale, it'll be incredibly important to just deepen those relationships. We don't go through any brokers, which I know a lot of folks do, and obviously nothing wrong with that, but we're super proud of the fact that we work direct with them, and we have for years. And so our goal, actually by the end of this year or early next, it was a little bit delayed because of the pandemic, but our hope is that we can get to all of them very soon, and just like I said, deepen that relationship. But early stage company traveling internationally wasn't necessarily on our budget.
Right. So for example, the Valencia, Spain, they'll ship you the Bobal and the Merlot, and do you do the blending? It's actually at your kitchen table. I mean, we did that for Happy Bitch, so we would blend and my husband's a winemaker, so he would blend it, and so it's fair enough. You're a small company. I mean,
no, it's a great question. We actually source fully finished wine. So although we do have a winemaker on our team, it's largely from a supply chain standpoint in ensuring that the wine is of the highest quality from one point to the end of production. But we are not actually in the winemaking business. We source the fully finished wine. If we need to do any kind of final touches to it, we will. But as you know, there's very little you can do if you have that legal certification of made with organic grapes. So and we do have that from the TTB. And so all of our wines, if we need to, we'll add a touch of sulfur, but it still needs to be that below 100 parts per million. So it's very little that we do, and it does arrive, and we feel like we need to do anything.
Right. Let me ask you this. Who in the wine industry have been your mentors and advisors?
Oh, you know, it's a great question. My mentors overall, I would say, I've been fortunate, the bigger picture food and beverage space, so I have a wide variety of them because of my past experience. However, specifically in the wine space, I've really, really enjoyed, I attended, right before the pandemic, several of the Women of the Vine and Spirits symposiums. Have you ever attended those? I can't recall.
No, I have not.
You know, I will say it was wonderful in really connecting with.
Oh no, Dana left the room. I do hope she comes back. Wait,
Okay.
she's coming back.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me, Debbie?
I can hear you.
Okay. It was really wonderful to get to know others, specifically females in the industry, which, as you know, they're just few and far between. And so it was a wonderful, wonderful way to meet top women in the industry, and it spanned distributors, brands, and retailers. And I will say, especially some of the women that I've looked up to and just been admiring what they've done are the top women in distributor space. So folks that we now partner with, you know, initially we weren't partners with them, and we've grown, and so now we partner with the largest distributors across the country. But also, I will say, folks like Dina OPG, who, you know, I think she might be one of the only females that run, at least from a large scale distributor, especially on the East Coast, and to be leading and running a distribution company where everyone else is male in the seat, I think is pretty remarkable, and they've done a good job. And so I would just say that conference opened up a lot of doors for me, and just meeting women in the space. I also had the opportunity to meet, you know, female founders like myself who were, say, a couple years ahead of me in building brands, and since then they've gone through massive acquisitions and have been incredibly successful. So being able to build relationships with other female founders in the space and watch them grow has been amazing. And other, I would say, more mentors, advisors. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have several on my board. And I know I'm talking a lot about females, but Dale Catechis, he is the founder and former CEO of Oscar Blues Brewery, and you know, they went from very small to large scale exit, and he sits on my board. Super proud of that, and he has been incredibly influential in terms of advising on building an innovative brand in the alcohol space specifically, and really scaling that distribution, and that's been really, really helpful.
Wow, that's really pretty impressive. You talked a little bit about distribution. Where are you distributed?
Yeah, so we have both our direct to consumer as well as our in-store channel. Online, we actually now ship to 43 states, which we're really proud of, and we have the licensing for all of that ourselves. And then in addition to that, we continue to expand our wholesale distribution and our in-store footprint. We are in-store in 12 states. That includes, you know, some of the big ones is our home state of, I sit in Denver, Colorado, California, Texas, Pacific Northwest, some Northeast. We're really looking to expand more on the East Coast this year. We've built out a lot of the West Coast, which of course is kind of where we are based in California and Colorado. But our goal is to continue to really expand that from 12 to 15 and ultimately national distribution over the next really 2 to 3 years. That's our plan.
So when people, I mean, if you're distributed, you're like in a liquor store, or, you know, I know in California you can buy wine at Rite Aid. So you're in places like that. In the places that you don't have distribution, people just need to go onto your website and purchase.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And they have to purchase in quantities of.
You know, our smallest one online is an 8-pack in store. Just like the cans, you can find them individual, just right next to the cans, bags, boxes. And online, we have really beautiful gift boxes. They're branded boxes.
Wait, I can get the box. I got the box right here to show everybody. Because it really is pretty when you get it in the mail. I mean, your packaging is really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, and so that's our smallest. We have 8, and then it goes up to 24. So kind of just depending. Oftentimes for gift giving, the 8s are great, and then the 24 pack is more. The folks, of course, another great gift, but especially folks who buy more regularly love to stock up. Like our quarterly, we do have a wine subscription, so our wine members. We'll get those 24 packs. But yeah, a lot of customization. You can pick whatever wines you want in there, and for you or whoever else.
Yeah, and these will be great, especially in the summertime when you're having a party.
Yeah.
Or just to get together, or even to bring to the beach, or actually on a hike.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to lug around a whole big bottle of wine. Just
Exactly.
And I have to say, they're really when they come off, there's the cork thing inside there, that's really seals it tightly. Because when you close it again, there's like a snap that happens.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's something that we, of course, will focus so much on is how do we ensure the quality of the wines, given that we're certified organic, it's a 187, those tend to not have long shelf lives already. So really thinking about with our innovative packaging, how do we create something? And we actually do have a patent for a bottle, and our patent pending for the cat because it is so different. But of course, as you know, we just had to put so much thought into how do we really protect the wine inside, not only make beautiful packaging, but make sure that we're protecting what's inside.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're also focused on giving back.
Yeah.
Tell me about the organizations that you contribute to, that you donate a percentage of your sales to.
Sure. We have been, from the beginning, really focused on dedicating 1% of our overall sales to charitable organizations that deliver healthy and organic food to those in need. It's been really important to us to have that aligned with our overall mission as a brand. And so we've focused on identifying local as well as national organizations that are very much focused on that need. And so we give both to Colorado kids here who are very specifically focused on healthy and organic food for kids, as well as Feeding America, which is the larger scale, as more folks may know of, the larger scale organization focused on delivering healthy and organic food to those in need. And so those are really our core focuses. That being said, every year when we hit that charitable giving season of Q4, we assess what that 1% in terms of dollar is, what we can give to, and how we can expand, either give more to those organizations or identify 1 or 2 more organizations. So we're always looking for, if anyone has any specific organizations that are doing great work, we're always open to learning more. But the big picture mission is that giving back the healthy and organic food to those in need.
That's wonderful. And I'm kind of like wrapping up here. I don't want to keep you from your day. I know it's, around 12 o'clock and this is take 2. So I'm mindful of your time. But when you're not drinking your own wine, what are you drinking?
It's a great question. I am a breastfeeding mom right now, which is why I'm not on the screen. So I've been actually, it's funny, as a founder of a wine company, I don't drink as much right now. In the last period of, the most recent period of my life, being pregnant and breastfeeding, I don't drink frequently. That being said, I do really love wine, and when I'm not drinking Wander and Ivy wine, like my husband and I are really looking to open and enjoy a full bottle together. We very much love Farniente and Jarvis. Those are 2 of our favorite wineries in California, and I gotta say, ever since Dale's been on my board, if I can have a Dale's IPA, I'll drink that because I love having him on the board, and I actually do love IPAs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I normally have a glass of wine if I'm not, if I'm drinking, and if it's something that we're actually going to enjoy a full bottle, my husband and I will likely open up to from one of those favorites.
Yeah, I like Jarvis. I've been there.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful. I just love the tours there. It's so incredible.
Yeah, it is. So leaving here, what are the top 5 things you want people to take away and know about Wander and Ivy?
I would say It's been our mission from the beginning to build a brand that consumers know and love. So first and foremost, that's what we're focused on. And, really number two, identifying that like our brand is differentiated because of the beautiful packaging and the beautiful wines inside, the premium wines inside. Third, I would say is that we really truly are certified organic. I know a lot of brands, and actually more and more are getting flack these days for using words that don't have meaning or could be misleading, like clean and words like that. Ours truly are certified organic, and we work really hard to partner with wineries that focus on that. Fourth, that we're a female-founded brand, of course. I know you're talking to two ladies here,
Yeah.
but that's something that's really important to us. We're female-founded and female-owned. I still own a majority. We are an investor-backed company, but I still own the majority of the company, and I'm incredibly proud that we're actually a certified women-owned company. And then lastly, as we talked about, that we give back. It's really something that I love as a consumer, knowing about brands that I purchase, knowing how they contribute to communities. And so hopefully consumers can know that when they're consuming Wander and Ivy, that they're also giving back to the community in some way. So those are the top 5.
That's great. And where can they find you online?
So our website is Wander, WANDER, and spelled out, and then IVY.com. And then we also have a strong social media presence, and it's just at Wander and Ivy, and all of that's spelled out.
Dana, I want to thank you for taking your time out today to come and talk to me again. so,
You got it, Debbie.
so far, so good. We're winding up here, and I just really want to thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully, I know, some people will go out and, order some of your wine and try it. It's very good. The Chardonnay here that I'm drinking and the red blend are really good. And I know when we tried this the first time, I had posted about it, and I got a few people asking, where they had already been to your website. So I think this is great going into the summer. It's great single serve if you're going out on a boat, going to the beach. You don't have to buy, bring a big bottle. If you're going hiking, whatever, you're doing, or want to show some type of variety at a barbecue where you don't want to go and buy a bunch of big bottles. These are great.
Thank you.
And they're beautiful packaging. And I wish you the best of luck.
Oh, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure
Yes.
speaking with you. Thank you for having me. And if I can help with anything, if anybody has any questions, feel free to send them my way.
And what is the email address that they can send if they had any questions?
Sure, it's Dana@wanderandivy.com. We make it easy.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Dana.
All right, thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great day.
Yeah, take care. Have a good week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Uncork Your Mind with Dana Spaulding, founder of Wander and Ivy. They're really classy, single-serving wine, and they were really, really good. So I hope if you're interested in the product, you seek her out and you seek out her wine. I'm Debbie Giaquindo, the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess, and you can find me at hudsonvalleywinegoddess.com, HV Wine Goddess on Twitter, HV Wine Goddess on Instagram, and Hudson Valley Wine Goddess on Facebook. Any questions, feel free to email me at debbie@hudsonvalleywinegoddess.com. Till next time, cheers.